Each will start in three, two, and one. On our side, we believe that this is never a debate on whether which approach is faster and more convenient, but about the sustainability and the ability to meet the global needs in the long run. So, which side will actually do a better job in transitioning to green energy? Because let me want to clarify something. The point of a fossil fuel company is to engage in the exploration and the production, and they also need to manufacture fossil fuel. And the point of any company that specialize in something is that they will only specialize in that field. So proposition do not give us a clear exact plan on how they're going to reach efficiency, only by saying that with a significant plan things will work out. Because all throughout this debate they have been mentioning to us about incentivizing from the government without mentioning anything about how this is truly effective and how those fossil fuel company will be willing to accept those offer in the first place, because every single company or every single industry, when they want to accept a significant plan, they also need to think about lots of factors. For example, their economic factor, and profit plays a huge role when it comes to accepting any kinds of practices. And so we believe that if we financing green energy startups, it'll be much better, and I'll prove more during the responses and also during my main argument. And we believe that the main clashes throughout this entire debate here is number one about effectiveness and number two about the environment. So first of all, coming to the responses. The first one they mentioned to us is about how it will receive more motivation, and incentivizing here includes monetary and non-monetary. We believe that this is just an assumption made on their side, because there's no motivation when it comes to a fossil fuel company that's going to adopt greener practices, because where's the motivation actually comes from? They have never seen any profit coming from those practices in the first place. And we believe that even if there is motivation, then the willingness isn't really there. Because, for example, if their company is all about this type of product, and then suddenly, for example, your company is all about producing plastic, and then suddenly the government want you to change your action plan and want you to completely abandon plastic, then how are your company supposed to thrive when your company is actually specializing in that thing in the first place? And they also mentioned to us the fact about how startups lack resources. We believe that when any single green energy startups they want to start in this circumstances is green energy, they will surely have money, and not to mention in this slide, in the circumstances of the motion, then the state will also give them financing, which means that they will also receive monetary financial funds so that they can support their business. And they also mentioned the fact on how fossil fuel company can it'll be easier because they can operate internationally. We believe that this is totally false, because number one, when it is like a fossil fuel company, then yes, their main aim is all about fossil fuel. And even if they can reach internationally, we don't think this is really effective, because what they want to adopt, let's say that they really want to adopt greener practices, this is just something that is outside their comfort zone, and they only do it because the state wants them to. So even if they reach internationally, it will be really hard for this action plan to be successful in the first place. So, coming to the main argument, the first one we want to talk about is how green energy startups will be more innovative, and it'll be more future oriented. Because we believe that green energy startups are designed to create cutting edge solutions that move far away from reliance on fossil fuel. Their main aim is only about green energy, and by focusing on novel technologies such as solar, wind, or hydrogen, these startups can accelerate the global transition to renewable energy. And we believe that startups here, they're more innovative, and they aim to disrupt traditional industry with energy efficiency and storage and distribution. And these businesses are focused solely on creating sustainable solution. But other than that, fossil fuel companies, they're more likely to favor incremental changes that still align with their core business. And investing in startups is a better long-term solution, because we believe that it moves society towards complete decarbonization rather than sustaining the status quo. Because even if, as we said before, even if those fossil fuel company they take up those greener energy practices and whatever they do, they will still have to align with their core business, which is fossil fuel. We believe this is like a really hard plan because they need to maintain their fossil fuel company while still adopting greener practices, which we think this is a very messy plan in our side of the house. And secondly, we want to mention the fact on how fossil fuel companies they will definitely have conflicting interests. Because number one, fossil fuel companies they are mostly driven by profit, and this is true. Their core business is based on the extraction and sale of non-renewable resources. And if we incentivize these companies to adopt greener practices, it will be unlikely to lead to a significant shift in their business model because their business model is still fossil fuel in the first place. So if we actually if the state forced them to adopt greener practices, then what will this will lead to is the term called greenwashing, which means that projects that appear sustainable but do little to reduce emission meaningfully. So, for example, investment in carbon capture and storage technology are often used as a way to justify continued fossil fuel extraction. But startups they're solely focused on eliminating reliance on fossil fuel altogether. So that's like the impact here is that it will lead to a disruption in business model and it will significantly harm the process of transitioning to green energy as a whole will also harming the profit of those fossil fuel company. So that's the end of my speech.